I'm on a journey to discover the real Japan. So far, I've cooked on a Korean barbecue, I've eaten Brazilian food, and I've drank Scottish whiskey. I should probably start showing you some proper Japanese stuff, which is why I'm taking you on a pilgrimage to not only the most sacred place in all of Japan, but also to meet the women who have been holding their breath for generations. But first, I've got to figure out how to get there.
Japan has survived a lot. Mongol invasion attempts, countless earthquakes and tsunamis, and 2 more atomic bombs than every other country on Earth. So what's Japan's secret? I'm heading even deeper west to find out. Today, I'm on a mission to Japan's sacred peninsula, searching for 2 things that have existed for over 2,000 years. The oldest shrine in Japan that keeps being destroyed, and a group of women who have been diving to the bottom of the sea for just as long. One of these things figured out how to last forever. The other is almost gone.
Oh, fucking hell. We need to catch a ferry over to the Shima Peninsula. The ferry's about an hour away and it's in 2.5 hours, and I think we're going to try to hitchhike there because I can't imagine we're going to get a bus or a train here now. This is the road that we need to take all the way up the coast. What we need is an off-ramp. I should get a sign, really. I haven't got a sign. Doko ni ikuno? Irago ni itikai desu. Irago. Hitchhiku. Okay. Mate, you can just ask people in Japan at random service stations and they will try to help you. I'm just trying to get up the highway, maybe to a service area, so I can continue my journey. It's quite difficult to hitchhike out of here. It's quite far. I think it's maybe 1 hour drive. Okay, cool. I think we've literally just got a ride from a dude outside 7-Eleven, the first guy we asked. Hitchhiku. My friend.
My friend?
Yeah. Thank you. This is my friend. I don't need this anymore. Thank you, arigato. Thank you so much for the ride. I can't believe that you're willing to take me all the way there. What made you want to help me? What do you do for work? Why do you have time to take me?
仕事はトラックの運送会社でフォークリフト乗ってる。で今日は休みだから。
Masaki. My name is Michael. I can't believe the luck that we've had. Your hospitality and your kindness has just really, really touched me. So thank you.
そうだね。こうやって新しくね友達になれるで全然気にしてないけど。
Well, sir, you and I will be friends. Okay? Perfect.
そういえば砂浜寄る？せっかくだし。35年は住んでるね。
And do you have a family here? Do you married or do you have kids?
一人身。
Okay.
父がいる。
I'm not married. I also have no kids. Sometimes it's better to be alone as a man.
そうね。趣味とかに制約がなくなるんでね。
There's something about traveling along the coast that I just love. It's so nice to have the sea just always on one side of you. You kind of never really feel lost. When you've got the sea there, you know which way you're going.
向こうの方。こっからはね見えないけど。
Okay, Fuji's this way.
あっちが厚み半島。
Okay.
ほらあそこうっすら見えるの。
泳いでもその獲物がおらない時もありますでな。獲物がようけおるところに当たったらまあ嬉しいですね。
What can you tell me about life here in this part of Japan? Because I've explored Tokyo and some of the bigger cities, but what's life like here?
どんな生活って言われると困るけど、ねえ、あんまり一 人がいなくてさ、こういう車がないと生活できないけど、なんかのんびりしてるよね、こっちの方は。日本人あんまり人に迷惑かけるのを嫌うから、まあそういうのを思うと安全なのかな。
Everywhere I've kind of been, it seems like people are quite willing to help me as a foreigner, which I wasn't expecting because I heard that Japanese people were quite reserved and that this goal would be quite difficult.
日本人はどっちかっていうと、日本人同士ではあんまり助け合うっていうのはあれかもしれないけど、外国人の人にはなんか結構優しくしなきゃっていう教育なので、他人に優しくっていう教育がされてるから、それを日本人同士だとちょっと恥ずかしいさが勝っちゃうかなっていうのがあるけどね、日本人と外国人だったらもう助けてあげたいっていうのは強いかもね。
That's really beautiful to me, and it kind of does surprise me. I think that we have this idea that Japanese people are quite reserved, but actually I think they're very open and they're very willing to help.
それは教育ね、学校で助け合いなさいっていう教育があったからね、道徳って言えばいいのかな、そういう教育があったから、まあ人の助けにはなるのは嬉しいよね。
Yeah, I think that's something that that makes Japan so welcoming, is this education and this really kind of forward-thinking and peaceful environment. And I wonder if that has anything to do with Japan's history of war and of fighting, and having been through what Japan's been through in the past, with conflict with other countries. I wonder if that education now comes from a place of having learned from the mistakes of the past, and the mistakes that other countries have put upon Japan, and that's why today there is this sense of peace and just wanting to be at peace and therefore help others.
なんだろうね、戦争っていうかさ、争い事を確かに日本人あんまり好きじゃないけど、どっちかっていうとあれじゃないかな、身内をさすごい大事にしてる傾向が強いんじゃないかな。多分ね、友達大事、自分よりも友達家族大事が強いのかなって僕は思うけど、もう少し行ったところに菜の花を見る、菜の花畑が左側に見えてくるもんで、結構綺麗だよ。
Thank you, my brother.
いいよ。
Arigato gozaimasu. Can you believe? I think I might be the luckiest man in all of Japan. I'm stood at a bloody 7-Eleven in the city, and I'm like, hey mate, you know if I can get down to the port? Yeah, I'll drive you there. It's an hour and a half journey. I gave him some money for petrol, by the way. I always feel a bit uncomfortable giving people money on camera because it feels a bit performative to me. But I was absolutely no way I was going to let him drive me all the way down here without giving him 50 quid's worth of petrol. We are here, and we're going to take a ferry over to Shima Peninsula, where we're going to be exploring. If we're lucky on the way, we might even see some dolphins. And this thing, whatever that thing is, look at that, 1 o'clock ferry. Toba di ikitai desu.
車はなし、車はない、ある。人だけですね。
Okay.
It's supposed to depart at 1 o'clock, but a little bit delayed.
It's delayed. That's okay, that's good. I can go to the toilet.
That's because you can.
So how delayed? How many minutes?
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes, perfect. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Arigato gozaimasu. We've got our ticket for the boat. Look where we've travelled. We've travelled all the way down here, and Misaki took us all the way down here. I struggle doing what I do. I struggle to show gratitude? Like enough? How can you possibly how could you possibly show enough gratitude to a man who's gone an hour and a half out of his way on his day off to take you all the way down to the port, and now he's driving back to the city again? Arigatou gozaimasu. I can go? Downstairs? Okay. Oh, I spent too long getting food and she said that it's already gone. Or it's already closed. Arigatou gozaimasu. Sorry. Thank you, running. I'm the last bloody person on the ferry again. Sorry. Arigatou gozaimasu. Oh, look at that. We just made that by seconds. How lucky are we? Right. You and I are on dolphin watch for the next 55 minutes. If you want to come to Japan and you're thinking of doing Osaka and Kyoto and Tokyo, you should do it because it's brilliant, but you can also come and do some cool shit like this. I think I've just seen some kind of sea creature. Now, while I look out for dolphins, let me just tell you a little bit about where we're going. We're going to the Ise Peninsula. Michael, why are we going to the Ise Peninsula? Well, because there's only a few really fascinating things going on there. There is the most sacred shrine, about 2,000-year-old shrine. In that shrine is the embodiment of the Japanese sun goddess. And then we're going to go and try and meet the Ama. The Ama are a female, very, very old female free divers who for generations have been free diving for pearls and fish and sea cucumbers. So there's a lot to unpack, to be honest, and I am certain we're going to not be able to get all of it in. I just saw another dolphin. Is that a dolphin over there? We've seen 2 dolphins. I think that was a pretty successful dolphin seeing trip. Right, we are here, and this is where I want to camp tonight, which I think is here, but the shrine is somewhere here. And that's as far as my plan goes, unfortunately. Look at how many thousands of proud Japanese people have come to experience this shrine, to do this pilgrimage. They reckon 7 to 8 million people each year come here to pray at Ise Shrine. There was a phrase that was established during the Edo period. Everyone must head to Ise at least once in their life. And this bridge is the gap between the ordinary world and the land of the gods, the deities. Now, before we head to the shrine, I'm going to tell you a little story. We're going to see the outer shrine and the inner shrine. And within that inner shrine, there is a box. And within that box, there is another box. And within that box, there is another box. And within that box is another box. That box is another box. And within that box, there is a mirror. Now that mirror has not been seen by a living person. They actually reckon that mirror hasn't been seen by someone in over 2,000 years. And that mirror embodies the Japanese sun goddess Amaterasu. One of them. It's one of the 2. So the story goes that 2,000 years ago, the daughter of the emperor was given the task of finding a home for this mirror. This mirror was the most important object in Shintoism. And she walked all over Japan for 20 years, high and low, all over Japan for 20 years. And when she got to this area, she heard a voice
And it said, this is a sacred place, this is a special place, this is a peaceful place. Build the shrine here. And the most impressive thing about this shrine is that every 20 years, it's happened 63 times, every 20 years, the inner shrine is completely taken down and then rebuilt about 100 meters away. The Japanese have this idea that something can stay alive by starting over and over again. This shrine has stayed alive for over 1,000 years, not despite the rebuilding, but because of it. So it's simultaneously the oldest and newest building in all of Japan. I just realised I forgot to make my wish. I was so focused on clapping with a tripod in my hand, but I forgot to make my wish. I guess Margot Robbie isn't going to lather herself up in whipped cream and find my tent at 2 a.m. tonight then. As much as I would love to roam around willy-nilly up this market street all night eating little bits of Wagyu beef and little charms. Actually, that's quite cool. I've got to find somewhere to sleep. I've got a mission on my hands. The sun goes down in an hour and I've got a tent and nowhere to sleep. 6 7! 6 7! How many of you are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7! The 6-7 crew. Well, I've got to go and catch up on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. 6 7. That was probably the loudest thing anyone's ever done in Japan ever, and I feel really self-conscious. We've got about 9 seconds until the sun goes completely down, and I haven't got anywhere to sleep. So we're going to try and do a little bit of wild / urban coastal camping somewhere, and in the morning I can show you something that's very, very special to the people here in Japan. You'll see many frogs in this area, many frog statues, sculptures like this. And that's because in Japanese the word frog is the same as to return or to come home. So people place them in the area as a kind of good luck to get them home safe, or to even find lost objects. Oh, we absolutely love a beach. Have a look at that. Right. Oh, where to sleep? Where to sleep? I'm thinking maybe in these trees, but it's a little bit too open in the morning if people come past. You know what? I kind of really like this spot for a campsite. Is the water gonna rise? No, that can't happen. I'm gonna fucking camp here. This is cool. No, we definitely can't camp on that. I mean, it's concrete, so I won't get my pegs in, and also I might drown if I do that. We are gonna put this tent up in record speed. Anyone that's watching that has watched my other camping ventures will be really freaking proud of me that I've got a blow up mat and a sleeping bag liner. Are you kidding me? Who am I? You know what this is like? You know what this is exactly like? This is have you seen that show Outdoor Boys? We need supplies. Family Mart. Seeing a Family Mart or a 7-Eleven here in the middle of the night in a quaint little Japanese town is like seeing water in the desert. When you're this is my mecca. Do 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 do. When you come in, that song plays. Do 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 do. Arigatou gozaimasu. There's some things I love about Japan that for me is just the world's biggest breath of fresh air. I mean, number one, the fact that you can go to a convenience store and get an entire katsu curry off of the shelf for like £3, about $5. And the second thing is, it's just unbelievably, incredibly safe. And you feel comfortable at all times. You know, I'm sleeping here on the beach on the side of the footpath. I can leave my tent here. I can just sit here all night and chill and drink a little bit of Japanese whiskey and know that I'm just going to be completely safe. It really, really is, for me, a lovely, lovely feeling. This is like outdoor boys. Freezing cold last night. People have come from all over Japan on a Sunday morning to wait for the moment that the sun rises over these rocks.
These are the Myoto Iwa, the wedded rocks. Two rocks standing in the sea connected by a rope of twisted rice straw that weighs 1 ton. The larger rock is the husband and the smaller one is the wife. She's been eroded smaller by centuries of sea. According to Shinto mythology, they represent Izanagi and Izanami, the two gods who created Japan. They stood above the ocean, stirred the sea with a spear, and from the drops that fell, the islands of Japan were born. They descended to earth and fell in love. But Izanami died, and Izanagi couldn't accept it, so he followed her into the underworld to bring her back. He found her in the darkness and begged her to come home. She said she would try, but told him one thing: "Don't look at me." He looked. She had rotted, he fled, she chased him. He sealed the entrance to the underworld with a boulder and they screamed at each other through the rock. That was the end of their marriage, and these are the rocks that remember it. Still connected by a rope, still facing each other across the water. Every morning, during the right season, the sun rises between them.
Froggy! Do you remember yesterday we saw those two frogs and I said that the word for frog in Japanese is the same as to return, to come home? That's why they have these frogs everywhere. And it gives you good luck when you're returning home. So when I return home soon, I'll think of these frogs. So apparently if you pray here, then you get extra good luck in relationships. And trust me, I need all the luck I can get. Goodbye, creators of the universe. Thanks for all the life. Now you might be thinking, Michael, this is boring. All you've done is show us some rocks and you didn't show us a mirror. Well, just you wait, because I've saved the best for last. We are going to go and have lunch with some old people. Okay, so we're here. The village is down there and it looks like there's a local bus. This way. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou. Welcome to the village of Utsatsu. In this village, there are women that have been diving into this sea with no oxygen, no tank, only one breath for 2,000 years. Not literally 2,000 years, that would be mental. They're called the Armour Sea Women, and they dive for sea urchins and sea snails and shellfish. And I'm told that everything that they eat and sell comes from this bay. Now, in the 1950s, there were over 2,000 of these armour diving all over Japan. And today, there are only around 1,000. And the average age of these divers is 70 years old. Do you think the armour will dive today?
No,
No?
no,
No,
no. Ama-san,
No dive
No.
today? Okay. Why?
今何中止ってどう言って言うの？アマさん潜らんよな。期間じゃない。なんて言ったらいい？時期じゃない。今シーズンじゃない。オフシーズン。
Okay, so they don't dive all year round.
Oh, okay.
Okay, okay. And what are you guys fishing for?
ロブスター。
Lobster.
Lobster.
Ah, delicious, delicious lobster.
ロブスター。
Okay, lobster. Wow. Nice.
ロブスター。
Lobster. Lobster. Okay, arigato gozaimasu. Arigato gozaimasu. Sayonara. Thank you, sir. Lobster. Lobster. Lobster chap seems to think that the armour are not diving today. He said it's out of season. I did get in contact with like kind of a representative of these divers, and they emailed me back and said that they might be diving today between 9 and 10:30 a.m. However, if they don't, then they've still invited me to go and have lunch with them at their hut around the corner. So we're going to have the chance to talk to them, ask them questions, and learn a little bit more about this ancient, I would call it ancient, tradition and practice of female free divers in Japan. How cool is that? Ohayou gozaimasu. Ohayou gozaimasu. Armour hut. This is where we're heading. Ohayou gozaimasu. Yes, hi. Mike, yes, Mike-san. Yes, this is me.
ランチを何時に食べますか？
I can have lunch whenever you decide, whenever it is ready. There is no rush at all. We're going to do an interview with a woman that doesn't speak a word of English. So first of all, what's your name and how old are you?
はい、75歳松井早苗夫です。
When you answer, you can look at me. It's better for my video.
スマホが見とるや私を見て大丈夫。
Okay, ready?
私も見たてえな。
How old were you when you first went into the water?
はい、18歳です。
Okay.
三木本パールアイランドのアマ。
And who taught you to dive?
教えてはもらいません。もう子供の頃海水浴もう家がそこで海がここやもんでな。で貝を投げて潜る練習する。練習は。
The lobsters are still alive. You don't kill them first?
はい、来てますよ。はい。松尾屋来てくれる人もおるよって言われる。
今ちょっと分かった。
私ら全然分からへんね。
What does the cold feel like when you first go in?
あまりまあ夏に始めるもんで何も感じない。気持ちがいいぐらい。海水浴やでな。
Does your body change over the years? And does it get easier or does it get harder to do this?
変わります。だんだん年とともに衰えてきました。はい。いや潜るのはまあ簡単。ただその獲物が取れるか取れんかいうだけで、潜るのは何も簡単。このハビいつ取ったんやろな。ちょっとわからへんね。 そうやな、2、3、いや、2、3日ではないと思うけど。
だから水槽に入ってたんですよね。
あ、そうそうそうそ
When was the last time that you dived for fresh
う。はい、こんにちは。潜ったのは、昨日、今、海藻のワカメを取る時期なんです。で、昨日、ワカメ取りに行ってきましたけどね。今年になって2回目の海藻取りになります。
What do you think about when you're underwater? Because sometimes you're underwater for several minutes.
だいたい50秒から1分ぐらいですけど、そのアバローニがたくさんいるとこに当たるといいなっていう気持ち。うん。泳いでもその獲物がおらない時もありますでな。獲物がようけおるところに当たったらまあ嬉しいですね。
Is there a moment when you feel afraid when you're diving?
怖い思っとったら商売できやへん。怖い思っとったらいかん。
Why is it that only women dive?
男性も潜ってます。6名ぐらい。男性も潜ってますよ。6名ぐらい。私らと同い年が多い。会社にサラリーマンしてて定年になってから潜りに行ってる人多いです。はい。6に潜ってます。はい。
Thank you so much.
皿が乗らへんね。
四个贝类一条。
Scallops, I think.
レインボースカラップね。
スカラップ
スカラップ、レインボースカラップ。
Denbo scarapo.
レインボースカラップ。
Lobster.
ロブスター。
Lobusta. And this?
ターバンシェル。
Tabanchero.
はい。
They don't look like the world's most appetizing food, do they? I don't think you're supposed to eat the whole thing. Do you have any children or grandchildren?
はい、オッケーいます。お子さん3人。
And do they dive also?
孫5人。海潜ってない。これはしない。No。
Does the fact that they don't dive, how does that make you feel?
もう海の嫌いな子ばっかになってた。海の嫌や言う人ばっか。それはそれでいいと思います。
Well, what's going to happen? I mean, this practice has been around for 2,000 years, and it looks like you might be the last generation. How does that make you feel?
まだでも後は続くと思います。海の好きな方見えるで。まだ続くと思いますよ。まあ、なんせ海のその獲物がたくさん取れるといいけど、もう今は徐々に少なくなってきておりますで、アマさんも商売にならへんといかんで。
These armors, they're very busy women these days. And I think it's absolutely brilliant that they've managed to find a really great business here. This is essentially just a little cabin on the end of the cliff. And they can get seafood from the market here, or they can go down and they can get it when it's in season. And tourists can come and they can eat here, they can eat lunch here. It costs about £10 or £15 a head. And I think that's absolutely wonderful for these women to have such a strong business. So that's the story of the 2,000-year-old, 70-year-old female freedivers of Japan. I asked that woman, do her children dive, do her grandchildren dive, and she said no. And it's got me thinking, remember that shrine we went to, and we learned that Japan have this idea that in order for something to survive, it needs to be rebuilt. It needs to start over and over again. And just like that shrine that every 20 years is completely torn down, moved and then rebuilt again, and that's how it's lasted for 2,000 years. And in this crazy parallel level that you see often in Japan, these women have been doing the exact same thing. For 2,000 years, they've been restarting. They teach their children, and then they teach their children, and then they teach their children. One of those traditions is going to be okay, and the other one I'm not too sure about. But alas, we have finished one of our journeys through Japan. We've still got another one to go, I believe.
I'm going to get back on the road and I'll see you on the next one. We're going to be heading even further down this wonderful country.